Hey guys, welcome back to Grace Over Grind. I always like to start out with so much gratitude because you are absolutely epically amazing. Please give yourself a round of applause. Thank you for embracing the podcast and also giving feedback. So here's what I want to ask you right up front. If there's any topics that you want to touch on, yes, or anything like Sharice, I need this in my life. Let me know. Head over to YouTube on the visuals and leave a comment to let me know exactly what you would love to see more of. So welcome in, guys. We have a beautiful topic today, one that is very near and dear to both of our hearts, yours and mine. So here's a little story time. When I first met Keon, my husband, I was used to a lot of chaos in my life, especially in relationships with men. I would always be chasing. I remember legit when I was about 21, I had a boyfriend that you could not tell me, baby, that I was not marrying. Okay, we're gonna leave his name up to the clouds. But you know who you are. This dude was in a hotel room with a girl, and I knew it. And I called every single hotel that I could and asked for his name. And I finally got the hotel. And they transferred me to his room, and a woman answered the phone. I then got my goons from Hampton University, and we got in my Hyundai Accent with them little small tires and drove down to that hotel. I banged on every single door because the front desk, don't tell nobody this. Please don't tell nobody this. Lord, I done came up in life so much. Listen, went to every single, because the front desk wouldn't give me the name, and you know I'm the man. I said, I want the name, sir. Sir wouldn't give me the name. It's okay. I went banging on every single door until, actually, I didn't even have to bang on the door. He walked out of the room all the way at the end of the hallway. And this wasn't even no hotel. It was a motel. We was outside. He walks out from the end of like the corridor. And I tried my best to fight him. And oh my God, I was screaming and crying. I went in the room. There was the girl. There was bathtub water run up, all up yay high, toothbrush. I said, oh, you old, right? So you have Exhibit A. Exhibit B looks like a life full of peace, not present of any chaos. So much so that when your factory default setting is chaos and it is trying to be chosen, and it has pick me energy, then when you come into something that is peaceful, if you are not mature enough, you will know that when you come into something peaceful, if you are not mature enough, it will feel boring to you. Yeah, right? So today we are going to talk about the opposite side of peace. We're going to talk about the costs of peace. So all the time, everyone's talking about the benefits. We know the upside. We know that peace will bring you clarity. Peace will bring you profit. Peace will bring you relationships. Peace will bring you inner self joy, all of it, right? We know all of these things. But no one ever talks about what you lose on the other side of peace. And we're going to talk about it today. I just want to start by defining what peace is, okay? So Google said that peace is a soft, sacred rebellion, an inner stillness that refuses to be disturbed by pressure, chaos, or performance. Honey, that refuses. It is an inner stillness. Oh my goodness. I love that. But when you have the inner stillness, when the presence of that peace is there, your yes to peace means that you're saying no to something else. Let's get down into it. The first thing, and probably the most obvious thing, is that peace will cost you people. I want you to be prepared that on your journey, crossing over to a place that is not riddled with confusion, and a place that is so super clear, and a place where you're really prioritizing yourself, People are going to fall off and they're going to fall away. What I want you to normalize, and it's a hard, oh girl, it's a hurting thing. It's a hard thing to get used to, but it is so necessary for your upper echelon. It's so necessary for your growth. And it is exactly, here's the hard part. It's exactly the way that it was designed to be. That's the hardest reality to accept. So much so that letting go of relationships might even disturb your spirit a bit. If you are a person who loves people, if you're a person who likes to do, and you call yourself maybe even a servant leader, right? It's not gonna be the most comfortable thing in the world for you to choose you, for you to say yes to you. It's gonna feel slimy, sticky, icky, like I don't want to be here. I'd rather backslide. I'd rather backslide, right? But I just want to give you some hints as to how you know that it's probably time to move more toward that place of inner stillness, okay? I want you to think about the spaces where you feel drained after every interaction. You probably have like 11 different scenarios in your mind as we speak because I have 52, right? Do you ever encounter projects or people or places that you exit and you're like, whew, your nervous system is up. There, you might have beads of sweat. And if you're not careful, that feeling becomes what your definition of life is, right? But I want you to slow down enough so that you can notice whether exiting said scenario left you feeling drained or fulfilled. There's only one of the two. It ain't no middle, right? Oh, no, girl, no, wrong answer. Whether it left you drained or fulfilled. If the interaction left you drained, then 9 times out of 10, that is a clue. That is a clue that it might be time to walk in the other direction, okay? Or it might be time to let go of whatever that relationship with whatever the thing is, the people, the place, or the thing. The other note that I want you to notice for yourself as it relates to peace costing you people is you probably can't be your fullest self around them. The code switching, the schizophrenia, the one way here and one way there, not the same everywhere. And let's be clear, I don't feel that any one person is giving their full everything in every scenario, but you should be incredibly recognizable to yourself everywhere that you are. And if you are in a space where you feel you cannot be your fullest self, then that's probably another indicator. You know what? And I have another indicator for you. What about the presence of the thing bringing more confusion into the situation than bringing more clarity into the situation? You ever have someone that just like walks up on you and just like you be like, just please, we didn't even need all that, just right? And it's not only people; it's energy. hmm It's things that you sign up for. Places that you put yourself, right? Buildings, all kinds of things. If it evokes clarity, then that's a yes. If it evokes a whole bunch of confusion, girl, bye. And let's talk about the second thing that peace is actually going to cost you. Baby, it's going to cost you your need to be understood. Let the stories go. Just let them go. Just let it's not important. For what, right? Because if you're anything like me, I can identify with a thing happening and you feel the urge, you feel the pull to correct, to narrate, to write, to or oritate. Or is that a word? It's not. Girl, you have the need to become an orator of said story. And if you have peace, the story is not important any longer because the only story that is important is yours. You have prioritized your own truth. All the other stories, multiple things can be true at the same time. But when you choose peace, they're just not important. That's it. That's it. Okay. And on that same note, also letting go of the need to explain your boundaries, right? So if you're invited to a place or your nervous system is screaming yield sign. Forget that. It's on full on red stop sign, right? And it's like, okay, I'm not going to do this thing. Just let the no be enough. We know no is a complete sentence, but also I want you to understand that the no is also enough in and of itself, just the two letters. So we sometimes find ourselves, well, let me give you a why behind the what. Let me tell you what's up. Actual true peace is disseminating the need to explain any kind of boundaries. They are present, they are present, and they are present. And that is enough. And on another note, as it relates to your need of releasing the need to be understood when you're saying yes to peace, is accepting that your growth is going to actually confuse people. Because here's the thing, when you slow down, when you pause, when you ascend into the higher version of yourself, some people are going to call it code switching, right? Some people it's going to be utterly bewilderment to those around you, right? And that in and of itself is a really good barometer as to who is for you and who is not. Point blank in the period, you know? A lot of it comes down to like the second that you stand up for yourself, the second that you stand up for what is right, the second that you stand up for your own growth and your own progression, okay? Then you will notice some changes, right? And that may confuse people. I also want to prepare you. And even if you're going through this right now, resist the urge to correct it. Resist the urge to reach. Resist the urge to make it right. It is not your sole responsibility. Your sole responsibility is to simply prioritize the peace. And just remember, peace looks like giving up your need to be understood. Here's the other thing that peace is actually going to cost you. And this is a big one. This is your own ish. Your familiarity with chaos. It's tight, but it's right. It is. Because all of us, it's in some respects, it's like being used to living in a vacuum, like just in a tornado. And you're really going to have to give it up because it's just not the way it is. So I was talking to someone the other day, and she just casually brought up, oh my God, I just cannot believe like how things are, how amazing, how peaceful things are. And I said, let me just tell you something. I said, this is the way life should be. The other things have been normalized so much that we believe that it is the definition of life. But no, truth looks like peace is your portion. So in order to get closer to that place of peace, we have to become okay with it costing us and letting go of our familiarity with all that chaos. But here's the thing about chaos. Subconsciously, chaos gives us structure, and it gives us control, and it gives us a sense of predictability, because at some point in your life, fighting and holding on to and tug of war was necessary for your survival. It was necessary for your existence. And in our bodies, that's the code. That is what the DNA in the cells believe. But is that a fact? Is that true? It is not. So I want you to, even just little teeny tiny things, just like, picking fights or gossip or whatever chaos looks like in your life, at a certain point, I do want you to honor that it did serve you. At a certain point, I do want you to honor that in your life, it was necessary for your survival. But as we grow and as we ascend, I just also want to prepare you, right? That chaos is something that we're going to have to let go of. I love this because this is really honoring the woman that we are becoming. It's the woman who really chooses ease and really chooses a life of tranquility and a life of balance and a life of joy, real, true inner joy, rather than a life of emergency. And that can be your own emergency or that can be external emergencies. But sis, you not no first responder. Put the defibrillator down. Put your first aid kit down. You know, and survey says that when you do prioritize the peace and the ease and the tranquility, that there are actual less emergencies. Right, the 911 number ain't even being used like that. Because the boundaries are in place. You're not even a contestant. Not even a contestant, right? But also B, you're creating less of the things that put you where you are, right? And because we're traveling, because we're ascending, those things tend to occur less and less and less. Like the younger version of myself, it reminds me that, when I crossed into a space that was more peaceful and I had to learn my own peace for my own self. Because in that new space of peace, I was creating chaos because that's what I was used to doing, right? But it reminds me that even when crossing over into the space of peace, that there are parts of you that are going to grieve. It's so unfamiliar, and it's so you might even feel like an imposter, like a peace imposter. And I just want to remind you and encourage you that is price of admission. It's par for the course. Because it's unfamiliar territory. You're used to controlling and narrating the story. And this peaceful place looks like, oh my God, like what? You're waiting for the sky to fall in any second. Ain't no sky falling, sis. Your sky is stuck. It's up. It's up. It's up for good. But it is highly dependent on you staying flat footed and exactly where you are, committed to your journey of ease over emergency. Here go the other thing peace gonna cost you. Ooh, this might be the biggest one of all. Your unhealed attachments. Maybe. Oh. The attachment of overworking as a measure of worth, right? Right? Because we collect those things in a basket, especially. And not just women, but specifically Black women, honey. We're gonna get aired the group. We're gonna do it big. We're gonna do it big. I just want to bring to the floor for consideration that the overworking is actually an unhealed attachment because it fills up your place of worthiness, right? Which is, if we're not careful, why we recite what we do and how we do, and as soon as we enter into any given space, because we have defined it as the recipe and all of the ingredients that make us us. And it is not true. You are simply worthy because you exist. So those unhealed attachments, it's gonna cost you, sis. You're gonna have to trade that in. You gotta trade it in for peace. So when you go over there, it's gonna cost you those unhealed attachments. You can hold on. It's no problem. You ain't gotta turn them in. You ain't gotta let them go. You ain't gotta let them go. But for true, authentic, sustainable peace, and I am on my own journey, which is why I can intelligently speak about this. It is going to cost you the ability. You're gonna have to lay them down. You're gonna have to lay them burdens down. You're gonna have to lay that cape down. You're gonna have to lay the armor down. Okay. Also, another unhealed attachment is pain as proof that you're alive. You know how we just be going through stuff and we just tolerate stuff and we just take stuff. We just take it, take it, take it, take it. Our bodies are absorbing that. You know, those things turn into diseases. You know that, right? Right? Those things, those emotional imbalances, they reverberate in your body and they create illnesses. They do. And so, mm, 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 that just hit me. And so just holding on to pain, normalizing pain as if it is the definition of life, as if this is how it's supposed to be. Fight back. No, this is not how it's supposed to be. The replacement belief is I live a life of full joy and full vitality and at my optimum level of myself. And put a different emphasis on every single part of that affirmation. I live a life of full joy and full vitality of every area of my life. It will be at its optimum. And when you begin to tell your cells that, your DNA that, they fold over. They have to surrender. They're yours. They belong to you. They're yours. You're not theirs. You tell them what they are going to do, right? Because you have God in you. You have the Creator in you. You have the same power to heal and to speak it into existence. But so many of us have normalized, have baked in that this pain belongs to me, or that somehow I deserve it, or that somehow I am worthy of it, and that somehow I'm not good enough to earn peace for myself. So yeah, it's going to cost you that, sis. It's going to cost you letting all of those unhealed attachments go. So we're going to take it up. So we talked about the costs of peace. So, and we're going to think about it like a monetary, like currency, right? A monetary transaction. So let's talk about the ROI, the return on investment of peace. We know these all very well, but we're gonna leave on a high. We're gonna leave incredibly fulfilled and incredibly motivated. So, one ROI of peace is clarity. Listen. Peace removes desperation. It does. It really puts you in the driver's seat of your own life to know exactly what it is that you want. And when you know exactly what it is that you want, no one else can tell you any different. And when you know exactly what it is that you want, you solicit less. So it definitely provides a beautiful clarity that is overarchingly undeniable. When you have that kind of clarity, another ROI is productivity. Listen, listen. When you were, and this is even applicable to work, I legitimately, in order to curate a space of peace for myself, I hide my phone from myself during the workday. When I am locked into creating, to designing, I cannot afford. I cannot afford any pume, 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 right? And I know me because I'm a shiny, dangly, carrot, sparkly kind of girl. So I know that I can easily get knocked off of my axis. But what keeps me on my axis and what keeps me motivated is the return of the productivity. I see that when I do this thing and I do this thing really well, it pays me in time, it pays me in joy, it pays me in freedom, it pays me in pleasure, you know? And so that productivity cannot put a price on it, right? Another ROI piece. One more is like you really can't strategize in chaos anyway. You can't. It's impossible because you can be back and forth, bing, 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 bing. And I want to be, in my walk, I was telling God this the other day. I don't want to have to do a whole bunch of rebuilding. I want to build. I just want to build. And you'll find yourself rebuilding when you've really, really, really realized that in that space of like chaos, you can't really even strategize because you can't think straight. You can't, it's not even present. You can't even, it's just all over the place, right? So I love that when you're linear, when you're building, You don't have to start over so much because you're very careful about your steps. You can avoid the landmines, right? We've all been there, child. I done had a landmine or 2 or 3 or 17 my day. But another ROI is that, I can get to my destination a lot more faster, less accidents, less emergencies, better ease, more ease. So speaking to productivity, stress is actually really expensive. Peace is incredibly profitable. Like, stress will cost you everything you have. It'll keep you longer than you want to stay, and then you probably gonna owe it a refund. Right? Like, that's just what it is. Peace is so profitable. It is the definition of you not having to rebuild, you're just building, right? And so may we all get to that place. And here's my final note. Peace actually brings people to you. It brings you out, it delivers you from the pick me space, and it is more of a warm invitation. It's an invitation of, I am whole, and you're able to experience this with me if you'd like, because I have space. If not, that's okay as well. It's going to be amazing either way. It's going to be amazing either way. But there is something so indescribable about a peaceful woman who really knows herself. She's incredibly irresistible. Okay? She's incredibly irresistible. But we have to agree to let those things go that are no longer serving us. And I just wanted to come and just remind you, and even if you didn't know, we know the benefits of peace, but it's going to cost you some ish too. So, girl, get ready to write them checks. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right, because what you are getting back, no man can undo. Because he didn't give it to you. So he listen, man didn't give it to you. You can't take it away. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Grace Over Grind podcast. Don't forget, let me know what you want to hear more of, and hop on over to YouTube so you can catch the visuals as well. And be sure to leave a rating if anything resonated with you today. And one more step, I want you to share this with a girlfriend who needs to hear it. Love you, mean it. Take care.